All right. So here we are at another episode of Sasquatch and Cigars. My name's Thomas. I'm your host. Tonight we have kind of a special cigar. I went to Lone Star Tobacco tonight and I caught the end of their Espinosa event that they had going on. And I got an Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich 58. Hopefully you can see that. So this particular cigar, I have to go off my notes. This is, again, don't remember too well. It's a 6 1/4 by 54 oval pressed Toro. The binders and filler are Nicaraguan tobacco with a Mexican San Andreas Maduro wrapper. It's nice and dark. It's supposed to be a medium to full-bodied cigar with tasting notes of savory pepper at the beginning, followed by coca dark coca and roasted coffee on the back end. It's made in San Latano. It's AJ Fernandez factory, I believe. The price point on this particular stick is $16 to $18. They had it going for, I think it was like $17.95. We are also, once I get this going, going to discuss some of the Bigfoot sightings in Ohio. I've just done like a cursory top level look at what's going on up there, and we'll discuss it a little bit. So before we get going too much, let's get into this cigar. All right. For this particular cigar, I'm going to use a traditional guillotine cutter. This one has a back in there, so it should give me a true cut. We're going to test the draw. Good draw. And let's get this lit. So we're just toasting up the end of the cigar right now, just to get the notes going. Let's see how this goes for a few minutes. Okay. I can get a little bit of the peppery out of that. This is promising to be a really nice cigar. So, back to my notes. Ohio Bigfoot 2026, and specifically March 6th and 7th, there was what would be called a flap in the cryptozoological field. That is a cluster of sightings in a close area, or close in days, or in close in area. On the 6th, the witness locked eyes with a 9-foot tall dark brown figure 120 yards away. On the 7th, a hiker heard heavy footfalls on the trail at night and saw an 8-foot tall creature step from behind the woods, or behind the trees, my mistake, behind the trees. It grunted at him and then turned and walked off into the woods and disappeared. June bugs. Also on the 7th, there was a report of a German Shepherd that came back to its owner shaking and scared from some type of an encounter it had in the woods. I didn't see too many details on that, so I don't know if the owner had some type of, heard something in the woods and the dog went to investigate or something like that. I'll have to look closer into that at a later date. There was also a road crossing on the 7th near Streetsboro. And they said a large figure crossed the road near a car. Again, a lot of these cluster sightings like this, they're referred to as a flap. So far, from what I can see so far, there have been no evidence of, or no photos or video evidence. I might be mistaken on that. Like I said, I just did a top level search. And I did find out that Ohio ranks as a top 5 state for sightings. Past legends include the Minerva monster from the 1970s. Sightings tend to be towards wooded areas, rural areas, corridors near water, and game trails. Another thing that I did that I thought was pretty interesting was I kind of compared the two to some of the sightings in the Texas piney woods. And it seems like there's definitely some similarities in some of the stuff that has been going on with up in Ohio as to some of the sightings that have happened in the Texas piney wood area. Again, I have some notes, so you'll have to forgive me because I tend to read. So if you compare Ohio's pattern into East Texas, it would look like enter near the Stubblefield Lake area, which I was actually just up there about a week ago, moving along creek systems, crossing near Forest Service roads, hiking trails, exiting deeper into the trees. It's almost identical to reports that have been in the Sam Houston National Forest, which is why I mentioned the Lake Stubblefield deal. Behaviors or similarities are both regions report forest goes silent before an encounter, creature locks eyes onto observer, doesn't move like a human. It's got a stilted gait, appears suddenly, disappears fast. The creature rotated its whole body instead of turning its head. That's been reported in both areas. Exact details, these exact details show up in Texas reports too. So a lot of the similarities of what's going on up there has happened here in Texas. So, it's either this thing gets around a lot or there's a huge mass hysteria over Bigfoot. Researchers have called these walkways green highways. They tend to be, like I said, game trails or actually hiking trails near waterways and stuff like that. Researchers tend to believe that this creature goes from waterway to waterway as it travels, as for a source of water and a source of food. I think it's kind of interesting that, here we are in 2026, and they had a cluster of sightings. And like I said, I've just done a top level search, but I haven't been able to find any reported video evidence or photo evidence of what's going on up in Ohio. I'll have to look for it, but I've heard rumor that there's a really blurry photo of a creature in the woods. again, I heard somebody say it once before, and I kind of agree with it. With all of the phones, the camera phones, and the drones and stuff like that, how is it that we don't have solid physical proof of this creature? That's why I kind of lean towards it's not real. Um, it seems like here lately, everything that comes out about this is like a blurry photo or, something of that nature. um, Back to my cigar, this knuckle sandwich from Espinosa Cigars, the number 58, celebrating Guy Fieri's 58th birthday. This is a pretty good smoke. Shout out to Lone Star Tobacco for selling me this cigar, and shout out to the Espinosa rep that was there. Unfortunately I can't remember his name, but I will list it in the description of this video. Um, Thank you for this cigar. This is an outstanding smoke so far. Granted, I'm only into the first third of it, but so far I'm enjoying it very much. Um, Back to my Bigfoot stuff. Like I said, I went up to Lake Stubblefield recreational area last weekend. Um, I did go by myself, and I know I've said in other videos that I wouldn't go by myself, but unfortunately I couldn't find anybody to go. I got out to the site where I wanted to be. Um, Very amateurish. I did some wood knocks, and I forgot to take my microphone off, so when I swing to do the wood knock, it just makes a hell of a noise, and it's not very good. I will post that video just to show what not to do when you're trying to make a video. Again, uh, I'm brand new at this. Kind of, I guess, for lack of better terminology, fake it till you make it type thing. But again, it combines two things that I really enjoy. I enjoy talking about Sasquatch. I also enjoy talking about other cryptids. I really enjoy talking about the Dogman. Um, Loch Ness Monster used to be a huge uh, uh, cryptid that I was into when I was a younger kid. I remember always reading stories about Loch Ness Monster from like the age of 9 till about the age of maybe 13 or 14 when I kind of aged out of that stuff. But that's one that I had wholeheartedly wished was real. Um, I do know that there's a documentary coming out that is supposedly supposed to have new evidence about the Patterson-Gimlin film on Bigfoot and how it was faked and whatnot. I haven't seen the documentary. I'm not sure when it comes out or if it's out already. I will definitely look for it and probably watch it. Um, it kind of raises questions. If this person had this information for 60 years, why did they sit on it for so long? Why not just come out and say, hey, this is total bumpkiss. This whole video that they put out was faked, and so on and so forth. It's just some questions that I have. Why sit on it for so long? Um, you know, Again, it doesn't detract from the fun of talking about Sasquatch, the fun of being out there in the woods. Um, when I was out there the other night, it was super peaceful, super quiet. All that I could hear were the crickets and the bugs in the woods. You'll have to excuse this. There's a fire truck going off in the background. Sorry about that. I sit outside because I don't smoke in my house. Um, uh, I only smoke out front. Um, this is my little area to just enjoy my cigars. Still definitely getting a peppery spicy flavor from it. The smoke is not harsh. It's not really like hitting my palate strong, which I like. It's for me it's kind of hitting on a more mild to medium um, bodied, um, but it's pretty damn good. I'm glad that I got it. I'm glad that I tried it. The wrapper on this thing is real pretty. I don't know if you can see that all too well. This is one wrapper where I may just decide to keep it. I just like the design of it. Um, but yeah, back to Bigfoot. Again, when I was up in the Stubblefield Lake area, when I got out there, it was really late at night. I drove down the forest access road really slow, filming as I was going. Didn't see much going out to where I was wanting to get to, and didn't really have anything happen while I was out there. Unfortunately, I did see where humans are going to human. That's one of my wife's favorite sayings whenever we see garbage in the woods. This is the national forest, and people are dumping garbage out there. I mean, come on, people. We have dumps for that. Don't take it to the national forest. That's just ridiculous. But anyways, I did a couple of wood knocks, did some whoops, whoop whoop type deals. I did a howl. I'm not very good at a howl because I tend to have a higher vocal range, and I don't have a deep voice, so my howls in the woods are not very deep. So I don't know if that would attract anything or not. Who knows? Maybe I'd get mistaken for a female Sasquatch or something. I don't know. But like I said, nothing happened. I was going to smoke a cigar out there on site and whatnot, but I don't know. I just felt kind of nervous out there by myself. So I got back in the truck, and as I was driving out, I did the same thing. I was driving really slow. I was filming, and as I was going out, I got to a certain point, and I caught some eye shine in the woods. And so I backed up, and I was focusing in on the eye shine with my phone, trying to see if I could see what it was, but it was just on the edge. I took one of my lights, and sorry about that. People are idiots in this town. Um, Held the light up, and unfortunately the light that I had didn't penetrate back far enough, but it illuminated the eyes better. They were actually kind of low to the ground. I don't know if you can see this, but they're maybe about this high to this high off the ground. The thing that got me was they didn't blink, and they just stayed focused on me. And there was another set of eyes that were probably about 5 to 10 feet to my left of what I was looking at, and they would look at me and then turn, and it looked like they were turning to look at the other set of eyes, and then they turned back and look at me, and then the second time that they turned and looked at the other set of eyes, I didn't hear anything, but they just never came back. The eyes that were staring at me never, like I said, they never blinked, and they never went off of me. I did some research, and based on the height and the kind of the color of the shine, which was kind of a yellow greenish luminescence, I kind of determined that it was probably a coyote, maybe some type of cat. Not sure if, I know that we've got some larger cats up there in the national forest, but it could have been one of those two things, or it could possibly have been a raccoon or something like that. And by no means do I think it was any kind of cryptid or anything like that. It just seemed too natural to me. It just was interesting that it didn't blink, or there was no evidence of blinking, because the eye shine just stayed on me the whole time. Ash got me on the chest, or the stomach, actually. That's what happens when you don't flick your ash on the side. But I am planning on going back. I am going to try and get somebody to go with me. Sean Kirby, your name is out there. I'm calling you out. Sean's a really good buddy of mine. Been friends for years, over 10 years now, and you know, he's like a brother to me. Either sweet talk him into going out there, or sweet talk one of my sons into going out there. But the next time I go out, I'm going to take a tent, and it's going to be an overnight um, deal. Now, whether it's to the same spot, or I may look up some spots up in the Texas Piney Wood area, um, of past sightings in that area, and then locate some primitive campsites around there. Maybe I can get off back in the woods far enough to film some stuff back there. Again, I'll be taking somebody with me, um, and I'll be taking protection. So I'll have my pistol and my shotgun. Not looking to kill anything Sasquatchy. Not that I expect to see one, but if I did, I wouldn't try and kill the thing. I'm not out to kill it. I'm just out to like film it, get it on videotape, and so on and so forth. Obviously, if something attacks me, I'm defending myself. So, if something happens, then that's what's going to happen. But I'm mostly taking the guns out for if I run across a feral hog, or if I run across some type of raccoon that just doesn't want to leave me alone, or a coyote or something like that seems to be more interested in making a meal out of me than going off into the woods. That's what that's for. Um, Finishing the first third of this and entering the second third of this cigar. Now, I want to say I'm picking up some dark cocoa notes. That is definitely there. Um, Again, I've said it before. My palate is brand new to figuring out tasting notes, but I'm finally starting to get to where I'm picking up what people are talking about. Um, uh, I've also watched some videos, and don't concern yourself about finding out notes. Finding tasting notes is not my priority of smoking a cigar. My priority for smoking a cigar is to relax, enjoy the evening, have some good conversation. I really love going to the lounge. Shout out to Casa de Monte Cristo for an excellent cigar lounge. I love going there. The vibe is always on point. The people that work there are always friendly, always have nothing but nice things to say to you, always greet you when you come in. They allow you to move the furniture around in there. So when we have a chess night, and a bunch of guys like to go in and play chess, we're allowed to move the tables around and get some chairs around there, and then we'll play chess. You win some, you lose some. Uh, so that's always makes for a really fun night. Um, so that's I smoke a cigar for social interaction mostly, and also it kind of calms my nerves. Um, I've had a ration of things that happen in my family that have caused my nerves to be on edge. Sometimes just coming out here and smoking a cigar and having a glass of water or a Coke Zero, or even sometimes an adult beverage of my choice, um, will just kind of take my nerves down a whole bunch, and just makes calms me down. So that's the main reason why I smoke a cigar. I also enjoy smoking I like the taste of it. Um, Still cannot stand cigarettes. Haven't tried one since I was 14. Don't ever plan on trying one. Um, I'll pass by the smoke pen out at work, and the guys are out there puffing away on cigarettes, and it just stinks to hog heaven. I don't even think I could enjoy, um, you know, sitting with them. It's just not something that I really want to do. I did sit out there one time. One of my coworkers gave me a little shorty, and I smoked that out on the lunch break. I can't remember what cigar it was. It was just a small, short one that he wanted me to try, and so I tried it, and it was good. But again, the cigarette smoke just interfered with the pleasure of it. Um, and but so yeah, it's not something that I want to continue out there. I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and bring it in close, but that has got a nice even burn to it. I mean, the construction of this is really well made. I'll remove this first wrapper, but you can see just how, and again, I hope this is coming into focus pretty good. But that wrapper is nice and dark. It's kind of got a light oily sheen to it. It's not a heavy oily sheen. This is a really well made cigar. If you get a chance to try the Knuckle Sandwich 58, try it. Trust me. I know Lone Star Tobacco has them in stock. Um, like I said, they did an Espinosa event tonight, and or today it was from 2 to 8 p.m. I think it was, or 2 to 9 p.m. I can't remember what it was, but I ended up getting in there at like 8:30, right towards the end, and I bought 4 cigars off the guy, and he gave me one for free. Um, but this one is the one I decided. This is one just came out this year, and again, it was released to celebrate Guy Fieri's 58th birthday. From what I understand, the Knuckle Sandwich is a blend that he had a hand in making, and so each year they come out with a blend with a version for his birthday, and this is the 58th. And I believe I got the 57, which was last year's uh, uh, birthday cigar that they came out with. Um, Back on to Sasquatch and Ohio, I actually looked up, okay, how long would it take me to drive to Ohio? And it's like almost 20 hours. So I guess that's kind of out of the question for right now. So I don't want to make a 20-hour trip just to go do some investigating, although it's not off the table. It could possibly happen, just not anywhere in the near future. One, I don't have vacation time enough to cover it. And two, I'm not sure my wife would want me to go all the way to Ohio just to do some Bigfoot sighting stuff when I can do it in my own backyard up in the national forests. This it's a relaxing evening out here. I'm gonna check my mic real quick, like to see if I stay up. I still got a green light, which means that it's working. I did do one video one time, and I think I made it like 2 minutes into the video, and the mic went dead because I didn't check to see if it was fully charged. And so I did like a 25-minute video with no sound because I'm sitting out here talking and no sound's being recorded. And I didn't realize that, so I scrapped that video and erased it. Um, I am having some technical difficulties with my new phone talking to my computer, so I've got some videos on my phone that I want to edit down and kind of crop together, but I can't get it. It'll start talking, then it just dies and disconnects, so I've got to find a really good cord. I think the cord that I'm using might be messed up. My wife was telling me to try that first, try a different cord, and see if that helps out. Again, I still have some other videos from my previous phone that are on my computer now. I just have to work with editing software to edit those down and get them posted. Uh, so this whole content creation is a whole new animal to me. So for right now, it's just you're gonna have to bear with me. My content is going to be spotty at best to begin as we're going. Hopefully, it'll get better. Hopefully, I'll be able to get more stuff posted in a faster rate. Some stuff I'm kind of putting on the back burner and saving for like a week when I just am not feeling well or something like that, and then I'll go back into my archives and pull something that I haven't posted that's actually on my computer, and we'll see. I've been told that's a good thing to do, is have some backup videos and backup content that you can post when you're lacking new content. As this Sasquatch thing in Ohio has kind of really piqued my interest here lately, as far as why a cluster or a flap of sightings right now. What's going on that would cause something like this? Is it just, did people just get together and decide to make up some stories? Did somebody see something and then it caused other people to just be like, oh, by the way, I had this happen to me, having not said anything previously? I would say that I'm not thinking that that's the case, because most of the sightings were on the 7th. I guess there was they're up to 10 sightings. I haven't looked at the dates for all of the sightings, but the ones that I found were on the 6th and the 7th. I'll have to get a breakdown better on when and how many on each day happened, and how close together they were. Apparently they were all pretty close together. Yeah, definitely the pepperiness is kind of leaving. There's still kind of a hint of it, but yeah, I'm definitely getting some dark cocoa in there. Haven't really gotten much coffee out of it yet. I'm thinking that maybe that'll come towards the back third of the cigar. We'll see once we get there. This might be a long video because this is a bigger cigar, so that's why I'm kind of rambling on, and just trying to keep a conversation going as far as me to my audience. One of these days, I'm gonna have some people here with me. Not anybody famous, just like maybe sweet talk one of my sons into talking with me about it and getting his thoughts on it. I have a couple of sons that are kind of interested in it, but one of them's camera shy, does not like to be on social media. The other one he might be okay with it. I'll have to talk with him and see. I did have a coworker talk to me at the beginning of the week when I was at work. He's kind of interested in going out whenever I go camping to go squatching, just kind of tagging along and whatnot. So maybe we'll do something with him. Um, it, I have to admit, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Uh, but we'll see. Again, I'm kind of particular about who I take out with me. And I'm open to the idea. Maybe we can set it up to where me and my son and another, a couple of my sons, and maybe him and his son can go out and do like a weekend camping furlough where we leave on a Friday, get out there Friday afternoon, set up, and then spend Friday night and Saturday night out there and come back on Sunday. That might be an idea. One of my other pastimes that I really like doing is fishing. So I may incorporate some fishing videos into this. Lake, the Stubblefield Lake recreational area looks like a really nice fishing lake. When I went up there the other night, I apologize for that. Again, people in Houston can be stupid. When I was at the Stubblefield Lake recreational area, they have the lake up there looks very fishable. And when I went out there that night, there was probably like 6 or 7 guys fishing from the bridge. They had some lights going on. Looked like they might have been fishing for catfish or something like that. I was walking around the edge of the woods that night by the lake, and it seemed like a pretty good area to do some night fishing. You know, maybe we can go up there and do some night fishing, me and my sons, and we'll make a video of it. Being that it's in the woods and it's near a hot spot for Bigfoot activity, we can incorporate the fishing and the Bigfoot. That would be fun. You know, I tend to lean towards saltwater fishing, but I do like freshwater fishing. And honestly, here lately, I've not been very good at the catching part of the fishing. But, you know, that's not the enjoyment of it. The enjoyment of it is to go out there and just hang out and have fun, put a hook in the water, and if something bites and you catch it, that's just icing on the cake. Again, the burn on this thing is staying relatively even. I haven't had to even out the burn with my lighter yet, which is good. There's been a couple of cigars where I've smoked and it's basically canoed on one end all the way in, and over here it's not done anything. And one of them, it did it pretty far in. It did it probably about this far in before I noticed, and I was like, oh man. So I ended up having to even it out with like probably that much around to get it back even. I feel like I kind of wasted some of the cigar in doing that because I wasn't paying attention. If I'd have caught it when it was closer to the tip, I wouldn't have wasted so much of the cigar. If you have any cigars, if you're watching this and you have any cigars that you think I should try, leave a comment on what you think I should try, and I'll see if I can find it in my area. I know that a guy named Brandon with Everyman Elevated has suggested some cigars that I've actually gone out and picked up and tried. One of the ones that he suggested was the Perdomo Lot 23 Maduro. Now that was a really good smoke. That was, so shout out to Brandon for turning me on to the Perdomo Lot 23 Maduro. That was a good cigar. I highly suggest if you can find it, get it. I know Lone Star Tobacco here in Houston has it. I've seen it there. They have a whole line of Lot 23s. And they're reasonably priced. They're not like super expensive sticks. If you happen to see camera shaking, it's because it's a little windy out here. Hopefully it doesn't pick up so bad that it knocks my camera stand over. Yeah, I like this cigar. It is a pricey cigar for me. 15 to $20 is getting to be the top end of kind of what I'll pay for a cigar. I did pay more for a couple of cigars. One that I tried that was kind of expensive was the Placencia Colorado. It was a box pressed cigar, and I think I paid $28 for that stick plus tax. Um, that one actually got me like I was kind of dizzy after smoking it. I'm not sure if it was just the strength of the cigar or that it was a bigger cigar. It was kind of early on into my cigar smoking, so I may not have been used to it. Might have been, too much nicotine at one time for me. I don't know. Um, but it did kind of make me feel dizzy and lightheaded. Um, Another really expensive cigar that I actually just recently purchased was the Arturo Fuente Opus X uh, Temple de Oro. I bought that cigar, put it in my humidor, and it's going to stay there until Thanksgiving Day. That is going to be my Thanksgiving Day cigar. That one cost me $40 plus tax. Um, I try and tend to stay away from really expensive cigars because I want this to be just a budget hobby, not like a really expensive hobby. And I know that cigars can go really expensive really fast, and you can spend a lot of money on them. I know I've spent a pretty penny on some cigars. I had one cigar haul that ended up being like $159 for all the cigars that I got, but I ended up with some free stuff out of it. Um, I do have a video that I need to edit down that shows that the stuff that I bought and the free stuff that I got for the purchase. Um, but one of the things that I got for free was a Fat Bottom Betty Toro, and I smoked that when I was out last weekend doing my Sasquatch stuff, and I actually really enjoyed that cigar. That was a really good, tasty cigar. I mean, it was lots of smoke. The wrapper was actually darker than this one and a little bit more oily. And so when I was smoking it, there was a lot of smoke that was coming off the end. Um, but it was outstanding. It was a really good smoke, and that particular one, the Fat Bottom Betty, is by Drew Estates. It's a part of their Deadwood line. And if you get a chance, it's not a super expensive cigar. I think that one cost me like $13. Or actually, that one I got for free, but I went back and bought a gordito size of that particular cigar, and it cost me $13. So it's not super expensive. Um, my go-to cigar is the Isla del Sol. Those are very budget friendly. You can pick up a gordito of that one for I think $7, $8. You can pick up a Grand Corona for I think between $5.50 and $6. So those are not too bad, and that's a really good smoke. That's a really good beginner smoke. So if you're interested in ever thought about trying a cigar, I would highly suggest that as being one that you start off with, just because it's a mild smoke. It's easy. It's got a sweetened cap. It's coffee infused. It's just an all around good cigar, and I really enjoy it. First heard about that one from Gen X Talks. Shout out to the General, my man. Turned me on to that one, so that was a good one. Well, in an effort to try and keep this video to a little bit short, I'm just going to sign off now. I am going to say that this, again, it is an Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich 58 from this year. This is a good smoke. If you like like I said, for me, it's a mild to medium bodied cigar. For some people, it might be a medium to full body. Um, they bill it as a medium to full body, but it is it's worth the price point for this. It's just that good. It's a really good smoke. I appreciate y'all listening. Again, I'm probably going to do a deeper dive into the Ohio sightings, probably get some more details. I know some other content creators are making a bunch of stuff about it. Um, maybe I'll shout out to them once I get those videos going. Um, Again, I appreciate y'all listening. Love y'all. God bless.